Hi, thank you for watching today. My name's Sarah and this is my channel, Your True Shelf. And today I'm doing a TBR for December, which is basically going to be just full of cheerful, light-hearted, easy to read, fantasy, kind of cheerful stuff. Said cheerful twice there, but I couldn't think of another adjective in time. So I'm just finishing non-fiction November, and I have read, well, when I've finished the one I'm on now, I'll have read 5 books, which I think is pretty good, and I'm really missing the fiction now. So because I'm feeling really Christmassy already with all the Christmas lights and stuff, and I've actually pretty much finished my Christmas shopping, which I'm so proud of myself for, I just wanted to read stuff that was, yeah, like I said, cheerful and upbeat. So I shall crack on and show you my cheerful, festive TBR. So the first one I've already started yesterday or the day before, and that is Pages & Co by Anna James, and it is the series, I think it's going to be a series, Tilly and the Book Wanderers. And this is a book aimed at older children, and this is about Tilly, who is living in her grandparents' bookshop, and we know that her mum has left when she was very tiny. We don't know why or where she's gone, and I know that Tilly is going to be able to enter the pages of books and enter the plot and meet the characters and things. So that's why I know it's going to happen, because that's what it says in the blurb. So far I'm only, I don't know, 50 or so pages in, really enjoying it. Just haven't had a chance to read for a longer stretch, but I'm sure I could finish this in a day or two because it's really good so far. The second one is a book that I have seen the film of, and so I know it's kind of a light-hearted and cheery film, so I'm sure the book will be the same, and that is Salmon Fishing in the Yemen by Torday, where basically there is a fisheries scientist, and who is played by Ewan McGregor in the film, and he is asked to be involved in a project to get salmon into the Yemen, and he is basically working with Emily Blunt, who is the Sheikh's assistant, who is trying to make this happen, and it's about the story of the two characters here on the front cover of the book. The third one is one that I've never read, this series, even though most people have. Most people are loving it, and so I really needed to join in and start the series. So that is Philip Pullman's Northern Lights, which is part of the series. This is the first one. I absolutely love this cover. So I got the latest cover release, which I really like. I'm going to try and get all the set in this edition. So it says, Lyra Belacqua and her animal demon live half wild and carefree among the scholars of Jordan College, Oxford. Her destiny will take her to the frozen lands of the Arctic, where witch clans reign and ice bears fight, and the extraordinary journey that awaits her will have immeasurable consequences far beyond her own world. This is the first book in his Dark Materials trilogy, and I cannot wait to get started, and I think Christmas seems like the perfect time to do so. So the next one is a book that I actually hauled this month. So in Norwich we have just had an honesty library excuse me, an honesty library opens. It's an open space where you can take your own books to donate, and then you can either swap them or buy other second-hand books. So when I went, there wasn't loads, and some of them were kind of a bit naff that were in there, but I did manage to find a few things that I liked. This is one of them. This is called The Chocolate Run by Dorothy Koomson. So I think I've read 2 or 3 of Dorothy Koomson's previous books, and I've really liked them. They've been really good. This is called The Chocolate Run. It sounds a little bit odd on the back cover, but I have to say, based on what I've read before, I'm sure it will be good. So it says, Amber Salpone thinks in chocolate. Talk to her for 3 minutes and she'll tell you what kind of chocolate you'd be. In fact, most days, if she was asked to choose between chocolate and relationships, there'd be no contest. At least chocolate has never let her down, unlike her family. Growing up in the Salpone household has taught Amber to avoid conflict and love at all costs. So when she does the unthinkable and has a one-night stand with womanizer Greg Walterson, her uncomplicated chocolate-flavoured life goes into meltdown, especially when Greg announces she's the love of his life and Amber finds it hard enough to commit to plain or fruit and nut. She has two choices: deal with the past and the people around her, or go on a chocolate run and keep running. See, it sounds a little bit rubbish, the synopsis, but I just, like that, I'm going to give it a try because I've really enjoyed her previous books. The next one doesn't sound so cheerful, but I'm really excited to read it because it is the Patreon book club read for Jen Campbell, which is happening late in December. So I've bought the book so that I can join in with the read along, which will be really exciting. And that is The Winter People by Jennifer McMahon. So the synopsis to this one says, West Hall, Vermont has always been a town of strange disappearances and old legends. The most mysterious is that of Sarah Harrison Shea, who in 1908 was found dead in the field behind her house just months after the tragic death of her daughter. Now in the present day, 19-year-old Ruthie lives in Sarah's farmhouse with her mother Alice and her younger sister Fawn. Alice has always insisted that they live off-grid, a decision that has weighty consequences when Ruthie wakes up one morning to find that Alice has vanished. In search for her clues, she is startled to uncover a copy of Sarah Harrison Shea's diary hidden beneath the floorboards of her mother's bedroom. As Ruthie gets sucked into the historical mystery, she discovers that she's not the only person looking for someone they've lost, but she may be the only one who can stop history repeating itself. So that sounds really good, really gripping, and very good for this time of year, set in a cold climate, splitting between two time periods, which I really like, involving a diary, which I really like, and some crime, which will be, I'm sure, quite a page turner. So I'm really looking forward to getting to this, and I know that I will actually read this one because it is the Patreon book club, like I said. Next one is The Winter Ghost by Kate Mosse, a ghost story, which obviously this is the perfect time of year to be reading a ghost story. Nobody wants to be reading a ghost story when it's boiling hot outside. So this one is, I hope it's not really boring, me just reading all the synopsis, but if I don't know them, then I kind of have no choice. 1928, Freddie Watson is still grieving for his brother lost in the Great War. Driving through the foothills of the French Pyrenees, his car spins off the road in a snowstorm. Freddie takes refuge in an isolated village and there meets a beautiful, captivating woman. They spend the night talking of love and loss and war, but by daybreak, Fabrica has vanished and Freddie realises he holds the key to an ancient mystery that leads him deep into the mountains to a cave that has concealed an appealing secret for 700 years. That sounds so good. Like, I'm going to commit to reading this one because it sounds awesome. Next is one that everybody in the whole world has got and read, apart from me. Well, I have got it, but I haven't read it yet. And that is Eleanor. That is Eleanor Oliphant. It's completely fine. I don't think I need to go over the synopsis of this one because, like I say, I'm pretty much the only person on the planet who hasn't read it. I have been put off by all the hype, which is just, I know that happens to other people who love books, that if everyone keeps going on about have to read it, you have to read it, that you just think, fine, I'm not reading it at the moment. Silly, but there you go. So that's that one. Then I have one that I bought purely by the cover because I love the cover, and it's I just had to interrupt and run downstairs because a man very rudely rang the doorbell about 5 times with an Amazon delivery, which is nice, but my baby is asleep. Ringing the doorbell 5 times is not cool, especially when you're making a video. So if he wakes up, I'll have to finish this later. Fingers crossed he won't. So, as I was saying, I bought this next one because it's about a bookshop and I love the front cover. And it is How to Find Love in a Bookshop by Veronica Henry. This is about a lady called Amelia who has inherited this bookshop from her father, and it's about 3 of the customers who are regulars there and the books that they share and the lives of the customers. So that one sounds kind of like cute and yeah, just happy. Next one is Some Kind of Wonderful by Giovanna Fletcher. I've never read any of her work before. One of my really good friends has just finished this and said that she really enjoyed it, and I got this in a supermarket a while ago after I heard Giovanna talking about it on her podcast. So it's basically about a couple called Lizzie and Ian who've been together for 10 years. They're about to get engaged, and then basically Ian says to her, actually, I don't really want to do this anymore. So she then has to, it says, through the tears, she sees an opportunity. This is her moment to discover what she's been missing while playing Ian's better half. How much has Ian changed her, and who is she without him? she sets out to rediscover the girl she was before, and in the meantime have a little fun. So that sounds nice. Okay, 3 more to go. The next one is a collection of short stories called The Beginning of the World in the Middle of the Night by the lovely Jen Campbell, whose channel I adore. And I haven't read any of her work yet, so I'm really excited to read this collection of short stories, which are fantastical and involving fairies and so superstition, apocalypses, mermaids. Really looking forward to this. It sounds like something that's going to be really fun to read. So the penultimate one is A Week in Winter by Maeve Binchy. I haven't read anything by her for about 30, no, not 30 years, obviously. I didn't read anything by her when I was 5. 20 years, if not 25. And this is set in Ireland. It's about a hotel in Ireland which is falling into disrepair until somebody comes and buys it and puts it back to the place that it should have been. And it's about the guests that come and stay there over a week in winter. So again, a really nice seasonal read, which sounds quite cosy and a sort of a bit of a character study, which I enjoy. And then finally, the last one is one I've had on my TBR for absolutely ages. Cecilia Ahern's The Book of Tomorrow. I've read a few Cecilia Ahern before. Some of them I really enjoy, some of them I just don't really... I just kind of a bit like meh after I finished them. This one does sound really good. It says, Tamara Giswin has always lived in the here and now, never giving a thought to tomorrow, until a travelling library arrives in her tiny village, bringing with it a mysterious, large, leather-bound book with a gold clasp and padlock. What she discovers within the pages takes her breath away and shakes her world to its core. A mesmerising story about how tomorrow can change what happens today. And it says making every day magical. So some magical realism in this book as well. So that was my cheerful TBR for December. Obviously I'm not going to be able to have time to read all of those books, but what I'm going to do, like I've been doing with my other TBRs that since I don't know, a couple of months ago, I'll keep all the books out, keep them in a pile, and then when I finish one I'll come to that pile to choose my next one. It's actually just been really nice to go to my shelves and pick some books off, because I feel like I've had so many books from the library recently that I haven't read a lot of the stuff that I've bought and really wanted to get to. So I might take some of the library books back so that I don't have the pressure of those sort of staring me in the face every day, and yeah, just pick from the TBR. So let me know what you're planning on reading over the festive season, and if you've read any of the books on my list, and I will speak to you soon with another video. Bye!